The right compliment doesn't chase attraction. It plants a thought in her mind that keeps echoing long after you're gone. Attraction is often misunderstood. Most men think it's about saying something flashy, clever, or overly romantic. But the truth is much simpler and much more powerful. Real attraction is emotional. It's about how a woman feels when she's around you and even when you're not there anymore. The right words can create a feeling that lingers in her mind for hours, sometimes all night. Compliments are one of the easiest ways to create that feeling, yet most men use them the wrong way. They compliment what every other man notices: her body, her clothes, her surface beauty. And when compliments are predictable, they lose their power. She has heard them hundreds of times before. The compliments that truly stand out are different. They show that you see something deeper. They make her feel understood. And when a woman feels understood, she remembers the man who made her feel that way. The first compliment that creates lasting attraction focuses on her energy. Instead of simply telling her she looks nice, notice the vibe she brings into a room. You might say something like, "There's something about your energy. It's calm, but also confident." This kind of compliment works because it goes beyond appearance. You're recognizing something about her presence. People rarely hear compliments about their energy, yet it's one of the most personal parts of who they are. When you say this sincerely, she begins to feel that you're paying attention on a deeper level, and that immediately separates you from everyone else. The second compliment highlights her mind. Intelligence and perspective are incredibly attractive traits, but they're often overlooked in conversations. When she shares an opinion, an idea, or even a story, acknowledge it in a meaningful way. You might say, "I like the way you think. You notice things most people miss." This kind of compliment makes her feel respected and valued. It shows that you're not just listening to respond, you're listening to understand. And when someone feels mentally appreciated, it creates a powerful connection. She begins to associate you with the feeling of being seen and appreciated for who she truly is. The third compliment focuses on her uniqueness. Everyone wants to feel special, not compared. The moment a woman feels that you see her as different from everyone else, curiosity grows. You could say something like, "You're interesting. You don't come across like most people. There's something different about you." Notice how this compliment isn't overly detailed. It leaves space for imagination. When a compliment sparks curiosity, the mind keeps returning to it. She starts wondering what exactly you noticed. What made you say that? And that curiosity keeps you in her thoughts. Now here's the important part. The power of a compliment doesn't come from the words alone. It comes from the way you deliver them. Speak calmly. Maintain relaxed eye contact. Say it as if you're simply sharing an observation, not trying to impress her. Confidence transforms simple words into memorable moments. Also remember that less is more. If you overwhelm someone with compliments, they lose meaning. But when you choose the right moment and say something genuine, it feels authentic. Authenticity is what makes a compliment stay in someone's mind long after the conversation ends. Think about the people you remember most in life. They're usually the ones who made you feel something powerful about yourself: confidence, appreciation, inspiration. Words have that ability. They shape emotions. And when you learn to express appreciation in a thoughtful way, you create a different kind of attraction. Not the loud, temporary kind that fades quickly, but the quiet, magnetic kind that lingers in someone's mind. Because the truth is this: people forget many conversations, but they rarely forget how someone made them feel. So the next time you speak to a woman, don't try to impress her with flashy lines or rehearsed charm. Instead, slow down, observe, notice something real about her presence, her thoughts, or her uniqueness, and share it sincerely. Those simple moments of genuine recognition are powerful. They create curiosity, emotional connection, and a memory that quietly stays in her mind long after the conversation ends. And sometimes the smallest compliment becomes the thought she keeps replaying long after the night is over. Human beings are deeply influenced by recognition and appreciation. Psychologically, when someone feels genuinely noticed, their mind naturally associates that positive feeling with the person who expressed it. This is why meaningful compliments have such a powerful effect. They are not just words, they are emotional signals that tell someone they are seen, valued, and understood. When a compliment reaches beyond the surface and connects with a person's identity or personality, it creates a stronger and more memorable emotional response. Most people underestimate how strongly the mind reacts to appreciation. When someone hears a thoughtful compliment, the brain releases positive emotions that increase feelings of confidence and warmth. This emotional reaction is what makes the moment memorable. It is not necessarily the exact sentence that stays in someone's memory, but the feeling it created. A single genuine observation can stay in someone's mind for hours or even days because it reinforces something meaningful about who they are. However, the impact of a compliment depends on its authenticity. When words sound rehearsed, exaggerated, or insincere, the mind quickly recognizes the lack of honesty. Instead of creating attraction or connection, it may create distance. But when appreciation comes from a place of sincerity, it feels natural and trustworthy. People can sense when someone truly means what they say. Another important psychological aspect is uniqueness. Compliments that feel rare or personal tend to have a stronger effect because they stand out from everyday conversation. When someone hears something about themselves that they rarely hear, it sparks curiosity and reflection. They begin to think about it more deeply, and the person who said it becomes associated with that positive thought. Understanding this psychology changes the way someone communicates. Instead of speaking simply to impress, they begin to observe more carefully and appreciate the deeper qualities in others. This mindset not only makes compliments more powerful, but also encourages more respectful and meaningful interactions. In essence, meaningful compliments are a form of emotional awareness. They show that a person is paying attention to more than what is visible on the surface. When someone learns to recognize and appreciate the qualities that make others unique, their words naturally become more impactful. And when words carry genuine appreciation, they often leave a lasting impression long after the conversation ends. Many people believe compliments are most effective when they focus on physical appearance. While acknowledging someone's style or beauty can be pleasant, those kinds of compliments are extremely common and often predictable. When the same type of praise is repeated again and again, it loses its emotional value. People quickly become used to hearing it, and it rarely leaves a lasting impression. What truly makes a compliment powerful is when it goes beyond what is obvious and recognizes qualities that are deeper and more personal. When someone notices traits like character, attitude, or the way a person carries themselves, it shows a level of awareness that most conversations lack. Observing someone's confidence, kindness, sense of humor, or unique way of thinking communicates that you are paying attention to who they are, not just how they look. This kind of appreciation feels more meaningful because it touches the parts of a person that define their identity. Compliments that highlight personality or mindset also encourage a deeper connection. When someone hears appreciation for their perspective or the way they approach life, it validates their individuality. It tells them that their thoughts and presence matter. This kind of validation often creates a stronger emotional response than simple praise about appearance because it recognizes effort, character, and authenticity. Another important aspect is originality. When a compliment feels unique, it naturally stands out. Instead of repeating something ordinary, thoughtful words show curiosity and emotional intelligence. People tend to remember those who notice the details others overlook. It makes the interaction feel more personal and genuine rather than routine. In many ways, complimenting deeper qualities reflects a mindset of respect. It shows that a person values substance and individuality rather than focusing only on the surface. This approach not only makes communication more meaningful, but also builds stronger impressions. When someone feels appreciated for who they truly are, they become more open, more comfortable, and more engaged in the conversation. Over time, developing the habit of recognizing deeper qualities changes the way interactions unfold. Conversations become richer, more thoughtful, and more memorable. Instead of temporary admiration, they create a sense of understanding and connection. And that kind of connection is far more powerful than any ordinary compliment could ever be. The way a compliment is delivered is just as important, if not more so, than the words themselves. Anyone can say something nice, but without sincerity, confidence, and presence, those words often fade into the background. Human beings are remarkably skilled at detecting authenticity. A compliment delivered with hesitation, exaggeration, or the obvious intent to impress will feel hollow no matter how clever it is. On the other hand, when words are spoken with calm confidence and genuine observation, they carry weight and create a lasting emotional impact. Sincerity is the foundation of a powerful compliment. It shows that the person giving it is present, paying attention, and truly noticing something unique. When someone senses honesty, the compliment resonates on a deeper level. It doesn't feel like a line or a tactic. It feels like a real acknowledgement of who they are. This sense of being genuinely seen triggers emotions that make the interaction memorable even long after it ends.